Hey, and welcome back to Thoughts from the 305. I'm your host, Andy La Negra, and this week is dedicated to the spirit of the Weeb. That's right, if you're a closet Weeb, out in the world Weeb, intersectional Weeb, this one's for you. But if you actually don't know what a Weeb is, this is also for you, so sit back and let's get to it. All right. Okay. So, joining me today, I got a few special people. Jenny O, founder, head creator, and owner of Pernicious Designs, as well as a couple of my comadres, Madam Kristen and Lady Sam. How are y'all doing this evening?
Doing well.
Pretty good. Yeah. Same.
All right. How's the Super Bowl looking?
Interesting. I don't know what's really going on. I'm still a little hungover. But it seems interesting. I was mostly there just to see the weekend, and he came, he did great, and then he went, and then I was just not interested.
This happens. How y'all feeling about that whole weekend postponed another year?
Can we not?
I'm
feeling sad.
Very sad. So bummed.
So some of y'all didn't know the weekend was scheduled to play at the AAA last year, and then of course because pandemic, COVID, all that bullshit, he was rescheduled to 2021, and then we found out that it's actually going to be 2022. Y'all, I'm going to be done with like 8 years of grad school before I can actually see the weekend.
For real, we're gonna be like 80. My God.
It's very sad. It's very sad. But he slayed it though at the halftime show, right?
I really like. I mean, people are always gonna talk shit because people suck ass. Sorry, am I allowed to curse?
No, this is a not safe for work. I recommend, and for those of you joining for the first time, I do recommend wearing headphones every single time you listen to any episode, because I don't give a fuck. We're adults, and
okay, cool.
Your girl tends to cuss sometimes. I mean, I try to be. I try. We do our best, all right? we do our best. That's all I can say. We try to be adult. Listen, my taxes say I'm adult, so I'll take it.
But as soon as you start doing taxes, you're technically almost you're pretty much like.
You gotta do the most boring thing. Listen, I had class today for that's 7 hours of just staring at a screen and listening to a lecture again, and what I did to prepare for that, what was therapeutic for me, was folding laundry and putting multiple loads in the laundry machine, in the washer. That's how I know I'm an adult. Or, I could be going through a mental breakdown, one or the other.
Yeah.
So, how has the South Florida winter been treating y'all? I know this last couple of weeks was a little brisk out here.
Honestly, it hasn't been that bad. Then again, the only times that I'm outside are from here to my car, from my car to my job, and back.
And we all know you like those sub-zero temperatures.
Yeah, no, I love it, but I'm only out there for like 2 minutes at a time.
Oh my goodness
So
gracious.
like, oh man, it's so nice, it's so pretty, and then I'm back inside a building.
You're right. But you know what's insane? South Floridians, when the temperature dips below 50, everybody freaks out. Yet, in the middle of the summer, have y'all noticed that if you go anywhere indoors, it's about the same temperature? Why is that a thing?
I guess because like when it's hot outside, people can just go outside. And they like it.
Humidity.
That too.
No, the humidity will definitely make
it feels like you're sweating when you're walking. I'm like, you need some AC when you get inside.
This is true.
But you see, that's why I like the cold temperatures, because when you're in a cold place, you just layer up, right? You're outside, you're not freezing because you're wearing layers, and then when you go inside, you take off those layers, and that's it. But when it's hot and you step outside, you can't take your skin off.
Well, I mean, you can. It's just not, socially acceptable. But I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
No, it's hot everywhere. Everywhere you go during the summer. true that.
You right.
Give me eternal winter.
Okay, maybe if the way politics keep going these days, we will get that nuclear winter. But I'm just saying. So one of the biggest things that I want to talk about today are conventions. Y'all have heard about them. The super cons, the comic cons. We've all seen them advertised or talked about in all forms of media. But let's dive deeper. There are so many aspects to going to these cons that it can definitely be intimidating for those that are curious and attending. And so these three beautiful people here with me today are either going to give you some clarity. We're all going to end up in Crazy Town. Granted, we live in Miami, so we're already there. Or you'll probably have more questions. So let's get to it. So let me see. Let's start with Ms. Jenny O. How many cons do you think? Well, actually, Alia, how many cons do y'all think you've been to? Or have you keep count?
Shoot, let me see.
I mean, I want to say like around 10, honestly, because they happen annually. But then you have to get prepared for them.
Okay. So Miss Sam says 10. Kristen?
I don't know. I've been going since like middle school, so that's a lot.
You're right. Let's see. And Jenny's over here still counting. Yeah, right?
I've done, I want to say in the past, like 10. The first Comic-Con that I ever went to was in high school, and I was like 16. So since then till now, I want to say I've done like about like 15.
Yeah, okay.
I want to say. Which, honestly, if you hear about all these people who go to cons, like every year they go to multiple conventions, that's not a lot.
Right.
That's really not a lot.
You're right. And y'all, I'm a baby conner. I'm a newbie when it comes to the con, so I've only been to 2 of them. So I'm here for those of y'all that this new experience can be hella new, hella just like intimidating. Don't worry, everybody's represented. So for those, can y'all describe what it's like to go to a con for someone who's never been to one?
Oh my god. Okay, it's like first day of school, going into a concert, like super happy jitters, and at the same time you're exhausted. That kind of vibe.
Dope.
It's almost like an amusement park for me.
Right,
because
exactly.
You're going somewhere where like it's going to be filled with things that you like, and you're going to see some really cool costumes and maybe some performances.
And then like it's for like 2-3 days. Like the majority of them are 3 days. So it's like 3 days of nonstop. Like we're going back into Disney, but Disney comes in the form of like conventions. So
nice. Kristen, what was that experience like for somebody who's never been to one?
I don't know. I think it's really exciting because you get to see a lot of people that you probably wouldn't see otherwise that are into the same things as you, and it's like everywhere, so you can just nerd out and it's acceptable.
yeah.
True.
Like it's okay to be super excited at a con. It's like everybody's super excited.
Yeah.
Like you're not a nerd. You're like surrounded by them.
This is true. Listen, when people were just stopping us because we were dressed up as what was it? Captain America's team. Wow, my God, what are they called again?
Captain Planet.
Captain Planet.
Captain Planet. My bad. Listen,
I'll be a part of Captain America's team.
Listen, I said that I was in class for 8 hours today. I know what I said. This is the consequence of what I said.
Team, if you know what I mean.
So we dressed up as the Planeteers one year, and it was amazing how many people recognized us. And so that goes back to what you were saying. And yeah, you could pretty much be the nerdiest person in the room, but no worries. The person right next to you is probably going to outdo you. So that was definitely an awesome experience. And speaking of nerds, I've heard this term come out, and I'm just like, I was in a virtual Zoom event because, Rona, and someone stated that we were all closet weebs. I was sitting there just like, what the hell is a weeb? And why the hell is anyone even calling me a weeb? So that's my next question. Can we translate what a weeb is?
So a weeb in Urban Dictionary is a non-Japanese person who watches like anime or is a fan of Japanese culture, and they're like obsessed with it. And it's mostly anime related, at least like from what I've seen. It's mostly like anime video game related, but it's definitely on point with the whole like Japanese culture, that they're like super super into it. But I don't know, I don't think everybody qualifies as a weeb just because you watch anime or into like, you know, like Japanese things. Like you have to be like another level of like hardcore into it, where like you like go around and you dress up and you say like Japanese words randomly, and you're like, okay, you can just say all right. Like, you don't have to go like hi, you know, like kawaii, like black is hi. Like an everyday thing, like they're a con goer every day of their life. That's pretty hardcore, man, let me tell you.
So that's a little bit
3
more.
days are exhausting.
Yeah, you
So
right.
doing it every day, ugh.
You right. No, the hardcore weebs are definitely, I commend them, because the amount of work that goes into it is just bonkers. Anybody else on your interpretation of what a weeb is?
I mean, I think it's a lot of people confuse it with like an otaku as well. And, you know, like they're different aspects. I feel like the weeb can just be someone who really likes this type of, you know, art that they make, the anime, the manga. That's really like where it focuses on. But I don't think it's a negative term. It's just someone who may be a little bit obsessed. That's it.
Oh, here I found an otaku is someone who enjoys anime and manga culture and the community surrounding them. A weebu is someone who enjoys Japanese culture specifically.
Oh, see, reversed. So there you go. I feel like I'm more of an otaku, and that was something that I remember growing up, like
Right.
feeling like that's where it was. Weeb is definitely more of a new term.
Right, and I feel like they kind of intertwine. But
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
kind of like a new word for otaku.
Exactly.
Though, mind you, technically, both of those things are supposed to be like negative.
Yeah.
Especially like in Japan. Like, you don't want to be called an otaku in Japan. Like, you're just kind of like a creep. But over here, we're like, yeah, we're otakus. Look, we're going to a convention.
Listen, context matters. You got to know where you're at, and you got to read the room with some of the stuff that you have to. Yeah, no, but it's really just fascinating to see folks really embrace the term weeb. So with those definitions, I'll definitely say that I'm a novice. You know, y'all are definitely getting me into some more of that, you know, the anime, and with every movie that I watch, I just have a whole what the fuck is like, I you know, is this drugs? Is that what it is? Because the experience, not in a negative way, because the experience is just like mind-boggling. They really, it's definitely a slow process how they reel you in. That character building is intense. So like the two that come to mind, which are the ones that I've seen, are, you know, Princess Mononoke and Howl's Moving Castle. The Howl's Moving Castle definitely. That movie was just intense. I don't know. It could have been the Christian Bale, you know, English dub, because, you know, my man's is sexy. But I don't know. That movie was just intense.
But that's a little different, because those are movies. So and those are Studio Ghibli movies. So you're not just gonna get like, oh, here's like a basic story, and like here's some like, you know, fan pics of like how looking all like smexy. All right, cool. Like they're supposed to be like high quality animated movies of like, the script is great, the music is amazing, the animation is like top fucking quality. Then you have like actual anime.
God. Okay. So
and that's a whole nother planet of its own.
okay, yeah, no. See, this is why we need y'all. We need education on this. You know, because there are definitely. When I found out that John Cena loves anime, I was like, say what now? So this is, you know, a genre and a culture that transpires across a whole lot of demographics. Because I don't, you know, John Cena, us. It's just this very weird dynamic, but bonding over anime could be a thing.
Like, there's like some really great anime some like all-time great ones where you're like, oh my god, and everybody agrees, oh my god, that was amazing, that was great, esto y el otro. But there's also like the gutter garbage. That's like so bad and you love it and it's so trashy and you hate it. Like it's amazing.
Oh my
It's just
god.
amazing.
It's like basically fan service. Like,
Oh my
some of
god.
them could
No,
also be
I mean,
basic.
there's like the harem animes that like
Yeah.
literally is like ass and titties everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Great. All right. Cool. If that's your like speed, go full on. Let's go. But then there's also like the ones that are like the animation is so like whack that you just watch it for that, of like to see how many fuck ups there are. Like there's one what is it, Ghost Story, where they the English dub they intentionally like made it so cringy and so fucked up. Like it's these little kids, they're like in middle school, the school's haunted and they're trying to like, you know, like go to middle school but the school's haunted. And it's so cringy, it's so bad. But they did it on purpose and you watch it because it's garbage. And you need garbage.
That is honestly a masterpiece, though. Like those voice actors
Yeah, you see?
just created a diamond. I don't know. It's hilarious.
And then like you read the like, or like you watch the sub of like the actual show, and it's like a normal regular show that's supposed to be for like kids. But the English dub, forget about it. You can't. It's just so like bad, intentionally bad. It's amazing. And then yeah, you also have the harem ones that is just, if it's a guy who's so plain and boring, but he's surrounded by these beautiful girls who are all just dying to fuck him. You have the girl who's so like plain and boring, and she's surrounded by these beautiful, handsome guys who are just dying to like be with her. Then you have the harem one, but they're monsters and the girls. And there's like a giant snake lady who wants to have sex with you.
What the hell? What is, listen. This one left very quickly. This one left very quickly.
This is why, like, yo, like it's a whole entire ecosystem of its own.
Holy crap. Alright, so y'all have named two of the biggest dumpster fires that you can't really stop watching. So what are two and like out of this world animes that you would recommend for folks that are just trying to get into it?
Oh god.
A more recent one that I really love is Mob Psycho.
Mob Psycho?
Oh yeah.
It's so good. Yeah, highly recommend.
Nice.
But you gotta get past the animation. Looks so ridiculous at first, but just keep going. It gets so good.
Right.
Anyway, second recommendation?
Jujutsu Kaisen. That one's pretty new.
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty new. The animation's great so far. Like it hasn't finished. Obviously, the story's still going, but so far it has really impressed a lot of people. A lot of people. Oh, and because of that, I'm like listening to the OP and the ED like crazy. Because like opening for animes and endings for anime, like the ending theme song and the opening theme song, are like huge. They're like an industry of their own.
Nice.
And because of that show, the beginning and ending theme songs are just 1,000 chef kisses. So I have to throw that one in there too.
All right, we got 1,000 chef kisses up here for some of this anime. Thank y'all. So let's go back a little bit to the cons. What are, and we're talking about dressing up and really putting an effort into going to these conventions, because it's a definite, I feel like there are tributes to your imaginations, things that have triggered your imagination in a positive way and have given you the opportunity to go into a different world. So what are y'all like? What are the craziest costumes y'all have ever seen? Or most elaborate?
wow.
Yeah.
Well, lately, because of how accessible like the internet has made it, like a lot of people who use like foam and Warblock, which is like this like plastics that you can heat up and shape. Um, some of the like really like big, bulky stuff, like from like video games, like WoW and stuff that you would never thought that you'd see it in real life, and people make them are like amazing. Like, oh, you made the whole armor and it's made out of foam and it looks like actual armor. That's amazing.
And when you mean WoW, you mean World of Warcraft for, the non-Weebers
yeah.
out there. Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes. Well, I mean, I think, didn't they come out with the movie? I'm pretty sure the non-Weebers probably saw the movie.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen it.
I don't know, but if it's live action, I didn't watch it.
Right, exactly. It's really hard to capture a good anime or video game live action movie. It just never comes out, right?
Yeah, no,
Never.
I'm thinking about Avatar right now as you say that. No, listen. I know I'm bringing out some fighting words, but bruh, that was just.
Bad.
Oh, I didn't believe you when when you said it was that bad. It was just.
And I Shyamalan ding dong, just doing it to the rest of us,
So for folks that are out there that don't know, during the pandemic, there was this great time where we were just binging Avatar. It is an animated series, but don't underestimate it. It definitely has themes that are transpiring today. Is a very, very great show. And way back when, I was one of the many that saw it after it was that had come out. It came out way back in 2008 in the early 2000s. And M. Night Shyamalan, our boy from The Signs, but also our boy from The Happening, our boy from, what was it, the other one, the Village, the Village, right?
Oh, The Village, yeah.
So M. Night has had some ups and downs. He decided to throw out this movie. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he fund it himself?
Yeah, he directed it. He wrote it. He was the camera. He was an actor in it. Like he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna just do everything on my own.
and can y'all describe Avatar or the experience of watching Avatar in 2 words?
I need to wash my eyes out.
Oh, wait, what? That works. I'm washing your eyes out. Okay.
With what?
You said what?
Good morals, because I watched that when it came out, and it affected me so much. Like, how am I supposed to be as a person? Like, who am I? What am I?
Damn.
It was so deep.
Sam, what about you?
Wait, but are you talking about the movie or the actual series?
The movie. What were your reactions when you saw the movie?
No, I didn't watch the movie.
That's why I said washing my eyes out, because
that's why I was like,
okay, I retract my statement.
That's why I was like, wow.
Wait. So, Kristen, because I was trying to hear what you were saying. So you had your reaction is on the anime series. You had positive on the animation.
Yes.
And Jenny, said that you want to wash her eyes out. But okay, so after the movie. So yes, let's distinguish. The series was magical. Recommend it. It's on Netflix. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I need to rewatch it. I think I've rewatched it twice already, and it's only been was 6 months. I'm not ashamed. Okay. So Samantha, what was your reaction towards the movie?
Oh, that was truly disturbing.
And so and y'all, just to set you up for Avatar and thinking about what we're in the climate that we're in, Avatar has I think every negative theme that social justice reform is trying to combat. Colorism, I mean, I don't know if this is a just social justice issue, but having earthbenders not being able to earthbend on Earth, it was just a very odd experience. I think I may still have nightmares about it. But let's move on to happier times. Let's go back to the craziest costumes. Jenny, you mentioned someone making a whole costume that came out of World of Warcraft made out of foam. That's intense. I've definitely seen some 8-foot creature walking around, and it's just remarkable. What about Chris and Sam? Have y'all seen, what are your craziest costumes you've seen?
I don't know, I guess it depends depends on the context of like what is crazy.
You
You seen
right.
like there's always that dude wearing like a bodysuit that has no face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like always that person. There's always like somebody that's Daft Punk. There's always somebody as Yoshi. Like it's all kind of crazy, I guess. Is what I'm going like.
You right. You
No,
right.
but there's definitely some that like, for example, one of my favorite things is when they do a mashup of two different like shows or video game or something, and like that's pretty fucking dope. Like that to me is crazy. Like, oh, you took like I don't know like Street Fighter and you mashed it up with like I don't know the Attack on Titan, and you're like, oh my god, that's amazing. Like I would have never thought of joining those two things together.
True, and then Kristen, I do get what you said of what's the context of crazy? What's your definition of crazy? Because I remember seeing a bunch of spider people. Spider it was it Into the Spider-Verse had come out. Best Spider-Man movie ever, my opinion. I'm not afraid to say it. And it just looked like an entire spider gangbang orgy was about to take place.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
so where are y'all going? Do y'all got the webs? Y'all got the lube? Like, what's going on? But it was definitely that I thought was hella intense. Just seeing a bunch of spider people. Okay.
There's always like a ton of Deadpools as well. Like
True.
everybody's always a Deadpool.
True.
But I mean, for me, it's really and this is kind of the ones that make it for me are when they put so much effort into like doing something different, like gender bending it, like Jenny
Oh,
said,
yeah.
like switching it or combining something, or even when they do their group stuff, like those setups with the group one. Those are the ones that make it magical for me. Like it could be one person who does a really, really good job, but when you have the whole setup, I think that makes it way better.
This is
And that's also like a lot
yeah.
of fun to see because like for example like if you see a Naruto cosplayer, all right, cool, awesome, great job, but then when you see Naruto and the whole gang, like that just makes it like what, that's nuts. Or like when you see
Exactly.
when Attack on Titan first came out, and like like they have the whole zip lining thing and all the belts and stuff, like seeing a whole group of them, that was insane. Like what? And like doing a good job and like actually like being in character and they were posing and stuff, like that's amazing.
You right.
That
You
Actually,
really
right.
I
makes
just
it for me.
remembered one from the last con. I'm sorry, but it was like this whole family, and they were all dressed up in like Dragon Ball Z. Like they were all of them, and they looked so cool together. Even the little kids. It was all the characters. So I really enjoyed that one, and they did so much work into putting it. I think they even went on the costume contest, and they
Yes.
got some award. So that was cool.
Yes, that I thought that was parenting done right. The entire drag, yeah, DBZ throwback. You had, baby. It was like you had Vegeta, you had Goku. I think they had Goten in there. They just had everybody.
Yeah, the kids. Yeah.
You had a bunch of people with like faux spiky hair, and it was magical. And so speaking of group costumes, I remember, faintly. Vaguely, I've killed many brain cells from between then and now, but way back when, I remember y'all putting together these costumes because y'all wanted to roll up into a con with a group theme. So that ties into my next question. How can you describe or like can you go over the experience of making your own costumes and wearing them to the con? That feeling when you got there.
Oh god.
Challenging.
Very challenging.
Rewarding? It's challenging, but it's worth it when you get there and someone runs up and they're like super excited that you're their favorite character.
Hell
like,
yeah.
that part's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What was what was their sleep schedule like? Because I remember we were up pretty late, and I'm just sitting here in the background, and y'all just like sewing away, and I'm like, okay, so we really doing this right now? All right.
I mean, that's all it is. You just like hunker down and you go at it, and you're sewing and you're cutting and you're putting everything together and putting it on, checking how it looks, taking it off, modifying it, back and forth.
Yeah.
Until you get it until you like it, and then after that it's just accessorizing it and let's go.
True. I don't know, for some reason it makes me think of Ron Swanson when he after he had forged Leslie and Ben's ring. Spoiler alert, how he said people that buy stuff are suckers. Yeah, you know. And one thing that in light of this theme about the Weebs, I'm gonna be posting on Instagram at Thoughts from 305 recap of our experience at Otaku Fest. So my dog here, Jenny O, actually created an entire, like, it was just, I am not that creative whatsoever, and so just seeing what somebody could do with curtains, bed sheets, anything, you know, in a very sustainable way was just magical. So I'm definitely going to post a recap of what that experience was like. Just really trying to give everyone a slight glimpse into the process. But yes, there's a lot of beautiful things that can come out of someone creating a costume as opposed to buying it. You know, you always, I don't think people are going to be very satisfied like 100% ever when they buy a costume, but when you have it made or some, you know, or you create it yourself, you have a little bit more control. That's what I think.
Yeah. And honestly, like, this was like a debate. I don't know if it's still going, but at least back in the day, it's become more acceptable now to just cosplay whatever you want, however you want. Like, as long as it makes you happy, there's no like set of rules of how and what you can cosplay depending on like your skin tone, your gender, your body size, how much money you have. But back in the day, it was like a really big thing of like store-bought cosplay or making it your own cosplay. And it's like, at the end of the day, you're just hyped about dressing up as a character that you identify with, that you like, that you are like a fan of, and going to these places to show it off and hang out with people who are into the same thing.
Yep.
That to me has always been like, who cares? Just go to the con and have fun with it, you know? And like, even if you buy a $20, a $60, a $120 cosplay and put it on, like, you're gonna go and have a good time. Even if it takes you a year to make your cosplay, you're gonna go and have a good time.
No, for sure, like, for sure. And sorry to interrupt, but yeah, I mean, just really, and I wanted you to continue that theme, because the next question I was going to pose is, like, what are some of the stereotypes and stigmas behind conventions? And you're talking a little bit about one, you know, custom made, homemade costumes as opposed to buying costumes. So it sounds like it could be a little bit of a topic.
No, yeah, it's definitely one. I mean, again, it all really depends with the people that you like, and I guess that you talk to or that are into it as well. Because at the end of the day, it should just be about going to these places and having a good time.
Amen to that. And so,
yeah, one of the biggest topics I remember, about like cosplayers is that, you know, you enjoy seeing people dressing up as characters that you like, but then some people take it too far, and then they feel the need that they could like invade the person's space to like take pictures or even hug them or kiss them. So that was something that like was big a couple years ago, where they were telling them, like, you know, just because they dressed up doesn't mean that you have the right to like touch them or stop them or even take pictures of them without consent. So that also happened.
They're not cringy at all. Ew. Oh my
god.
Yeah,
like
there was even like a big campaign that happened.
I remember that.
On like a couple of cons where like, just because I'm wearing a cosplay doesn't give consent to touch me or like do things to me that I'm not comfortable with. And like, there were people just all over. Like, you could have been dressed up all cute and like kawaii and like super anime, and people will still try to like come and touch you. Or you could dress up as like, you know, like a knight with like underwear and like a fucking sword from a video game, and people will still try to come and touch you. Like, dude,
oh my gosh.
back up.
Listen, hashtag me too. Let's not, you know, for those of you who are new, even for those of you who have been around the con scene, respect people's spaces. The veterans, I'm sure, are aware of shady shit that goes down. But if you're a newbie and you're curious as to if you want to take a picture, please ask. Please ask, don't touch. The worst thing that anybody can say is no. And even then, you'll probably catch a picture of them with the professional photographers. So one thing that there's a lot of intersectionality when it comes to conventions, where like this topic right now, there's still that issue of people respecting boundaries, people respecting spaces, but then also another component of conventions is the impact that it has on small businesses. And Jenny, as a small business owner, can you kind of describe how conventions can like what it does for an artist, so the pros and cons, if you can tap into that a little bit.
Well, if you want pros and cons, I can definitely give you. So the pros, you're pretty much sharing what you do with a lot of people that you don't normally get to like interact with, because it's a lot different interacting with people online than it is person to person. Again, you're pretty much showing off yourself to the world, like this is what I do, that's how I do it, having conversations. You meet other artists, and it opens up a lot of different doors that you can't really do on social media. Like not to say that social media doesn't help, but that's pretty much what it is. Social media just helps, but this kind of like gets the ball rolling.
Okay.
The cons, at least for me, my biggest con would be like burning out, because it can get really intense when you're like trying to finish even if you're like a cosplayer, you're trying to finish the costume, you're trying to like get it together, you're trying to like make everything as good as you can before the con, and there's never ever enough time. Right. If you are an artist, you're trying to finish your work, you're trying to get those printed, you're trying to make the stickers. If you're a crafts person, you're trying to like me, you're trying to finish your pieces, you're trying to like make sure that like you have the right prices, you have, you'll try to engage with audience online as well. Like it's a lot, so it can really burn you out. And even if you think, oh, I have time, you never have time.
Right.
You never ever have time. But at the end of the day, when you go set up your table, you start talking to people, it kind of makes everything worth it. It really really does. Like those nights where you like had to stay up late to finish whatever it is that you were doing, makes it worth it. Shout out to my husband for reminding me that I need to eat. Those kinds of days. Like that makes it worth it. Like friends coming over to help you out, or to finish trying things on, or like even just an opinion of like, hey, that looks a little like this, maybe you should try that, that makes it worth it. Like it really really does. It's so different, because this whole entire past year with the whole pandemic, we couldn't really do anything. And there's still a pandemic going on, but at least like this gives us, I don't know, like some kind of like a breath of fresh air.
Right.
Like we're not just at home, we're not just communicating online, but we're actually like seeing people and talking to people.
Right. And like, yeah, definitely go a little bit into more like how have you, and our Chris and Sam, you can chime in. How have you seen conventions pivot in this time of social distance? It really is a whole pandemic happening, but like what have conventions done to re-engage artists that have been pretty much this line of income, this line of creative outlet has been completely, has been cut off for a year. So what did they do? What are some interesting things that y'all have seen with the cons these days?
I mean, for me, and compared to all the other conventions, I like the space that they've given, especially in the artist alley. Because before the artist alley, we were literally rubbing like elbows with the other artists next to us.
I
Now
remember
there's
that.
like
Yeah.
a good amount of space between the tables. It's like, oh, it's great. We can breathe, you know? I like that. And I appreciate like how much they try to like kind of social distance people. And, you know, there was like whenever you got your badge, they would automatically give you like some hand sanitizer and kind of like go over the list. So like, hey, you need to be wearing a mask. They even included a mask in this last one. And to be fair, this has been the first convention of this season
Wow.
since COVID.
Yeah, no, that it's been a very crazy year. And yeah, I definitely noticed the space that y'all get now at the tables, because the first con I was like, oh, okay, so like, are all the tables connected? Are y'all? How do you get in and out? What's going on? So
Bro,
now,
I would be hitting everything. I'd be coming out and I'm like, I'm sorry.
yeah, definitely not curvy girl friendly. Like, listen, if my boobs are gonna be in your face when I'm walking out, I have to apologize
gosh.
for all 4 days, because I have to do that now. Listen, my butt is gonna rub somebody. It's not you, it's me. I'm just trying to get in and out. Please and thank you. So I definitely see that as it was pretty nice to be able to go in and now move around without having to worry about bumping into people and bumping into tables. Otaku Fest definitely enforced the mask. And you know what the beautiful thing about going to, you know, conventions is, especially if you wear a costume, you don't have to worry about the mask as much, especially if you wear like a helmet or something like that. So
a lot of people were just like, okay, well, I'm already like dressed up as Spider-Man, so I'm already literally wearing a mask.
True. Oh well, then this is, oh my goodness, it's just been a crazy time. COVID out here just killing the fun, but I was glad to see that, you know, artists and creatives and anybody who appreciates it had an opportunity to go out and venture into Otaku Fest, and it was a very lovely event. Again, I will show y'all, I'll post some videos and pics from, you know, the back scene, the behind the scenes, I don't know what to say anymore, but the behind the scenes, and what, you know, a little bit of capturing what it was like walking through Otaku Fest. And but yeah, so Jenny, when is the next con happening?
Well, there's actually a couple of cons now following kind of the same structure that Otaku Fest did. Because like, again, it was the first time since this pandemic started that there was a convention, and people want them. People want conventions. People want to like be able to leave the house, like, you know, do things. Like 2020 was kind of like we all just skipped a year.
Yeah.
Of our lives.
Yeah.
So many plans that had to be canceled. So many things couldn't be done. We couldn't go anywhere. We had to hunker down. We get it. No, it's important. But like, it's one thing that you're never ever going to get back is time.
Yep.
And we all definitely spent a whole entire year not doing anything.
Yeah. I mean, I think, well, we also have our grown people jobs, you know, trying to, and
right.
you know, getting our studies in. But I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Not doing anything as in like being able to go out and enjoy our lives, you know, and like create new memories and all of that. And now with the vaccines rolling out, it's also made it a little more like easier for people to feel a little less anxious about the whole situation. And that's great. I'm looking forward to it. The next cons that are coming up, they're kind of sporadic and they're not 100% sure if it's going to happen or not. But there's the one that I applied for was MizuCon. That's happening in June, and it's down here also, really close by to the airport.
Okay.
And the one after that is Anime EY, and that one is happening in November. Those are the two that I actually like sent my application for the Artist Alley table.
Dope.
But there's plenty more. There's plenty more happening all around. Even like up north in Orlando, there's still cons happening. There's actually a website. Hold on.
Can I make like a quick disclaimer?
Yep, go ahead.
Like, I just want to acknowledge that we're lucky enough to live in places where we're not around high-risk people.
Right.
But if you are living at home with your parents and they're 60 and they have comorbidities, do not go to a convention.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that definitely.
It's like, I don't want to make light of what's happening in the world.
Right.
You know, but we're lucky enough to be in a place where we can quarantine after we go and not be working with people, you know?
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, I definitely echoing what you said. I mean, I work virtually. You know, it's not, we don't have anybody that's at high risk of having detrimental side effects of catching COVID, but we don't even know what that looks like. We don't know. It's so different from one person to the next. But yes, thank you, Kristen, so much for reminding us. No, because I mean, you get into it and you're like, yeah, when's the next con? Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm tired. Let me get out of this joint. And you know, you forget. Yeah, it's, you live your life, but it's still a whole pandemic happening. And if you go out, please wear your mask.
At the end of the day, it's up to you as a person if you want to take the risk or not. And there were people over there who, I don't know if you guys saw, no, I think it was on Saturday. There were some people that would like, that came in like literally a hazmat suit and a full-on mask and like a jug of sanitizer.
Like, do what you gotta do.
Yeah, and I'm like, great, that's awesome. Let's do it. You know,
Yeah,
you're here because you want to do it and you want to be here and you are taking that chance, that risk, and you're doing it in your own way. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
And it doubles up as a cosplay. Win-win. Right. There you go. So no, yeah, it's definitely, you know, do it in a safe way. The opportunities are there, but be wary of the time that we're in. Please wear your mask. Please wear your mask, because I don't know why we're almost a year into this shit and I still, you know, please wear your mask. Yeah, no, this channel does not, you know, entertain that trifling bullshit of people walking around. It's like, no, but I don't want to wear my mask. Oh, well, no, like, okay, then stay your ass home. Like, you don't need to be out then. Why? No. Yeah, no, but we're still living that life over here. Hopefully, you know, cross your fingers. Let's please get out of this joint, please. But well, that is all for our episode today. Thank you to Miss Jenny O from Pernicious Designs. If y'all check out some Comic Cons down south, please check her out. She's also on Instagram. Thank you for the rest of my panel of beautiful ladies, Miss Kristen, Miss Sam. Thank y'all so much for being part of this episode.
Thank you for the invite.
It's been fun.
All right, y'all. Take it easy.